Reading from the Word of God, Psalm 52, verses 6. The right.
Real Expressions. Start your day on the right foot with Andre Donald here on Real 91.9 and 5 FM.
Right here.
www.drealfmgrenada.com. Real Expressions.
God forever and ever. I will praise thee forever because thou hast done it. I will wait on the name of God, for it is good before thy sins. This is the end of the scripture reading.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Yep.
Everybody home good?
Yeah, for the time.
All right. I had to go in town today. Yeah. Don't go.
Well, we try to go for a mess for you.
I ask you a question. Go or don't go?
No, okay, don't go.
All right, I don't go in again.
But I want to run in Glenville today for the.
But I don't go.
I want to run in the pool.
No. Oh, yeah. You can't let it nutmeg dry.
Yeah, I want to run to the.
Make sure you're going to they buy nutmeg today?
Yeah, from today and tomorrow, please God.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Ask my brother, and my brother tell me yes. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me check for you. Hold on, don't move there. Me not supposed to have that information in a thing there, you know. Hold on. Let me check. I don't want you to make no waste running Grenville. But hold on. Me know where you? Send that information for me, girl. I ain't seen Mina. Like Mina want you delete yourself from the chat. Mina want you get bright. Oh, well. That is so not nice. But keep listening. Hold on. Okay, this is it. Do we have anything to do with nutmegs? Uh-oh. I ain't seen no nutmeg thing. I ain't seen nutmeg at all. Usually she sends me announcements.
Okay.
But I am not seeing anything from Nutmeg Association for... What's the date today? What month we in?
We're in September.
In September.
Today could be 16th or the 15th, somewhere around there.
Okay, yes. So today's... Today's the 15th?
Yeah.
Yeah, today's the 15th. So... Grenville, the 15th and the 16th, yeah.
Okay.
8 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah, today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Grenville today. They're buying Grenville today. They're buying, where else today? Let me see. Oh, they're buying Cities here today, Marley, 15 and 16 too. And they're buying in GCNA Complex in St. George's in Corona James Boulevard. That's today. The 15th, they're buying in where? Oh, in Victoria, they're buying on the 15th and the 17th.
Okay.
So, if folks want to know, they can give us a call.
Yep.
And we'll be happy to give them the information.
Well, yes, you have a nice day and be safe.
You too.
All right.
And make sure you're going anything and you don't walk wrong. Don't walk wrong, Grenville.
No.
All right. Mm-mm. Take care of yourself.
Okay then, bye.
Right, bye.
We have to prepare to meet the challenges of life without fear. Greed and jealousy, hatred and envy, man, you have to move with care in that jungle out there.
Betty! Morning, Betty. How you doing? Gotta be careful, girl.
You gotta be careful.
Thanks, Mina, for that information. Cindy, what happening, girl? What's the latest? Good morning to you, Keith Sylvan.
You gotta be careful.
Also, Keith Lalsing. There's Keith Sylvan, there's Keith Lalsing, and then there's Keith Courtney. Wow, a lot of Keith. Oh, Keith Mitchell. Good morning, Doc. What's up? How you doing? You good? Right. One love, brethren. Keith, and then there's a Keith Rush. Whoa, a lot of people are Keithsies. A lot of Keithsies around. Anyway, listener, the following countries' travel advisories have been raised to or reissued at level 4, which means do not travel. Slovenia, Serbia, St. Kitts Nevis, Lithuania, Israel, the West Bank, Gaza, all the Gaza people, Guatemala, Grenada. What? I'll say it loud. But I tell Grenada. Say it louder than that. Okay, Grenada. All right, don't worry. Trust man. Belize, Albania. We there on that list now. That is unfortunate. Listen, I want us to do so and decide on something. Let me show the world. Let me show the world that we could just as fast as we get onto that list, we could just get off that list. What do you feel? Huh? Honestly, we could talk about it after the weather. All right? Good.
Innocent life is gone. It's only vice and corruption that's going on. Staying alive, trying to survive. That is how it is today. So as you go along your way, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Where you go when you're walking. What you say when you're talking. You got to be careful. You got to be careful, careful.
Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk? Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk?
As we continue to float along in the morning time, boy, if half of the things that happen behind the scenes, if you know them, or if people get to know them, people like me so in jail. Good morning, Trish. Were you laughing?
Like you.
You agree
At
that
least you admit.
you agree that I could go to jail? Well, so if a guy could go to jail, a guy could go to jail. If a guy is going to have friends like you outside, then a guy going to jail.
Oh, okay. So you want some cricks?
Well, that's it. And some cigarettes to trade. Because you must have cigarettes to trade. You know, get a man a half a cigarette, and then you go wash your sneakers. Yeah. Anyway, girl, tell me how you were there. Let me
All
find
right,
this.
good morning to you, listeners of
Morning.
Real FM. It's FM morning here at the airport. Winds are from the east at 10 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1014 millibars, which is above the mean, and it's rising. Present temperature 29.2 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 82%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 31.9 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature last night was 27.8 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, only zero point 0.2 of a millimeter in rainfall was recorded here at the MBIA. This brings the total for the month so far to 54 millimeters. Now the public forecast valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy and hazy with light to moderate isolated showers. Winds easterly to east-south, easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm at times. Today's maximum temperature is expected to get up to 31 degrees Celsius. Seas light to moderate, waves 3 to 5 feet in open water. Tide should be high around midday and low about 6 p.m. Sunset this evening at 6:10, sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:57. So just to recap, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy and hazy with a few light to moderate isolated showers. From the Met Office, Trisha Miller.
Thank you very much. You know something, Trish, but they say with wine, as it ages, it gets better. You kind of start off by number 5 this morning, and then you just do so, and you just hit that thing, and you just go, you going up faster than how COVID spreading, you know? You go faster than how COVID spreading, you know?
Well,
What?
that can be a good day.
Trish, have a great day, girl. Take care of yourself and be safe, yeah?
You too, thanks.
All right, then. Bye-bye. Right. It's real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. What happened while you slept as of 10:30 p.m. last evening? Okay. I wonder if you knew. Do you know? Can anybody call me and tell me, just off the top of your head, no cheating, off the top of your head, do you know when was our first reported COVID case in Grenada? When was the first COVID-related case in Grenada? Yeah, me hear from you when that was. If you think you know. I can buy you an ice cream for that if you get the answer correctly. And no cheating, no running no book and going and thing. Yeah, I don't know it up there. Right? Anyway. So confirmed cases 2,740. That's overall from since that first reported case. Our confirmed cases is 2,740. Our total active cases presently 2,061, with 8 of them being imported. That means active ones right now, 8 of them, and active local cases 2,053. The deaths 38. Yeah, the deaths 38. And number of cases currently in hospital. Tess, you're wrong. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, Tess, you're wrong. Okay, number of cases currently in hospital 67. Total persons in isolation throughout the nation, total persons that have been asked to isolate themselves or being isolated in hospital, whatever, that is 2,061, which means that those are the total, the same as the total active cases. So the active cases would have been asked to isolate themselves. The total persons in quarantine facilities, that would be government-approved quarantine facilities. Total number of persons there, 391. All right. The total number of PCR tests conducted in the country thus far, and if we had that same amount in terms of injection, the jab thingy, would have been really good. The total number of persons PCR tests conducted. We're looking at, see that here, we're looking at a total of 64,625. The number of persons vaccinated with the first dose has moved to 30,036. That's those who would have had the first dose. And the number of persons vaccinated totally, meaning having first and second dose. So I mean totally vaccinated. That would be 20,153. Now folks will say, oh, well, that's a lot. No, that's not a lot still. We're still looking at, I believe that the authorities would want to get to about 70,000 thereabouts, and then we can start talking things like herd immunity. We talk a lot about herd immunity, but I don't think anybody really explained that so that you could understand. So one of these days, I'll find somebody who, in layman terms, could explain what is herd immunity. We're using that. We're using the word. Yeah. So we would have had yesterday, there would have been identified 94 new positive cases. Remember the day before that, it was 260 or 240, thereabouts, somewhere around there. But now it has gone back. Remember, before that, it was about 40. Then it went to the 200 and something, and then it's gone back down to 94. I am betting my marbles here that we are seeing a situation whereby we come into that curve. There's a possibility that we are coming to that curve, and it should start to not taper out, but sort of a taper out and head downwards. I believe it could happen, but be that as it may, be the fact that it could happen, and I believe and I know that it could happen, but it depends on you and what you do. If you follow the instructions, and do what you're supposed to be doing, then absolutely no problemo, right? Good.
Where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
Absolutely no problem. We have to do it ourselves. Ain't nobody else can help us. Forget that.
Search for happiness.
Are you prepared for the hurricane season? Do you have a plan? Remember, water is essential in any emergency plan. Determine your family's water needs. Ensure your storage containers are food grade and store at minimum 35 gallons of water per person per day for at least 1 week. Understand that your planning may be different this year because of the need to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Take the necessary actions to ensure that your household has an adequate stored water supply should there be an interruption. Be prepared. NAWASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Good morning, consumers, and welcome to WaterWise, a production of the National Water and Sewerage Authority, NAWASA. Thank you for joining us. I am Wendy Chateau. This morning, we pause for a moment to extend sympathies to the family of our dear colleague, Diki Chetram, who sadly passed away on Sunday. The NAWASA family feels your pain. Diki was a foreman attached to our transmission and distribution department at Grand Dance, serving the authority for over 27 years. It is never easy losing a loved one, and we urge his family and loved ones to hold strong. We grieve with you. NAWASA's operations continue to be challenged by the recent upsurge of COVID-19 on the island, and the authority is seeking the cooperation and understanding of customers in this challenging period. Having not been spared the wrath of the virus, the authority has been forced to operate with reduced staffing in several of its departments across the island. The Transmission and Distribution Department, Customer Services, Engineering, and other departments have been compromised. As a result, the authority was forced to suspend services such as meter relocations, private water service connections, and leak detections. And no applications for new water and sewer connections are being accepted at this time. NAWASA is operating with reduced crews, and while measures are instituted to minimize downtime, the response time for leak repairs has been adversely affected. All in-person customer services functions have also been suspended until further notice. We understand the value of water and are working hard to maintain the quality of service we pride ourselves on providing. Our offices are open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Thursday to accept bill payments only. And because of the No Movement weekend, we close at 12 noon this Friday, September 17th. The authority thanks you for your understanding and cooperation and encourages you to continue observing all COVID protocols and remain vigilant until we can safely return to everyday activities. Remember that we can each take some simple steps to help slow the spread of coronavirus and protect ourselves, our families, and our communities. Our customer services telephone line 440-2155 is available for support, and customers can also continue to access bill balances, query accounts, and report leaks either through voice or WhatsApp on 459-6064, 405-5245, or 405-9143. NAWASA's emergency line 292 or 435-0715 is also available for reporting broken lines and water outages, and queries can also be made via our social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, and our website, www.nawasa.gd. Of course, in keeping with our mission of meeting customers' needs, we will do our best to help you to the fullest extent possible. To avoid contact as much as possible, we also remind you that payments can also be made through your banking institution via online banking or at any of the payment centers available island-wide, Western Union Money Transfer, and the River Sally Cooperative Credit Union. Again, only bill payments are being accepted at our offices at this time as the authority institute measures to protect staff and customers in the face of the high COVID-19 positivity rates in the community. As we navigate the impacts of COVID-19, we also encourage you to ensure you wear your mask, sanitize, and maintain the required distancing when visiting our payment centers. Let's each do our part to stay COVID safe. That's our time with you this morning. Until next time, I am Wendy Chateau on behalf of the entire team at NAWASA, wishing you a fantastic day. Continue to follow all COVID-19 protocols and regulations and stay safe.
Are you prepared for the hurricane season? Do you have a plan? Remember, water is essential in any emergency plan. Determine your family's water needs. Ensure your storage containers are food grade and store at minimum 35 gallons of water per person per day for at least 1 week. Understand that your planning may be different this year because of the need to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Take the necessary actions to ensure that your household has an adequate stored water supply should there be an interruption. Be prepared. NAWASA.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent. Perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines. Yet suitable for your hand wash. Soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness, keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents, soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges, and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Who
wants to save 30%? Everybody. Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
Dear customer, please help us limit the potential impact of COVID-19. If you have cold, flu, or COVID-19 symptoms, please postpone your visit to Grenlec. We recommend using online banking to make payments, available through Co-op Bank, Republic Bank, and FCIB. You can also use check drop boxes at each of our locations. For bill balances and other information, call 237. For additional support, email customersupport@grenlec.com.
Green's Concept introduces the latest innovation in air conditioning technology in Grenada, providing the most energy efficient, environmentally friendly air conditioning units in Grenada. Using a natural refrigerant, our air conditioning unit systems are up to 40% more energy efficient than the current units used in the Grenadian market. Powerful cooling while using less electricity and very inexpensive. That means more money in your pocket. We offer free delivery to all locations of installation and installed by top quality trained professional engineers with over 20 years experience in the business. Contact Green's Concept 417-5460 or 442-1663. Email greensconcept@gmail.com. At Green's Concept, we cool you and the planet.
Green's Concepts announces special prices on 18,000 and 24,000 BTU units. You have been saving on power, now save on prices. Call us today.
Hey, I am Corporal 85 Grant, attached to CRD Eastern Division, reminding you that incest and all other sexual violence is a crime.
And me say no make them take advantage of you.
Spot On, a new program with new perspectives every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on the realest of the real, Real 91.9 and 91.5 FM. Real talk, real people, real issues in real time. With your host, Sheldon Scott.
Go when you say what you talk, how you do. Go on in. Yeah, it could be a crazy man. Is there somebody on my line?
Yes, there is someone on your line.
What a person doing there?
You were supposed to call that person, weren't you?
Yeah, I was supposed to.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good morning, Andrew.
I was supposed to, but then I made a decision.
Not to.
No, not to. I made a decision, and because a couple of the things I was going to talk about in relation to with you had to do with agriculture. Okay. And I shifted your thing to tomorrow, please God.
Which is tomorrow is Thursday.
Yeah. That's what happened.
We'll still talk about the first thing today and the second thing tomorrow.
Who said I want to talk to you every day like that?
Well, you know, you must talk to your brother every day, don't you?
Oh, really? Oh, really? Look at you. Look at you.
Yes, Andrew.
Dr. Antoine, how you doing?
I'm trying to be better today than I was on Monday.
Well, that's great. That's great. The important thing is to be able to try.
Yes, and I made the effort successfully today.
Well, and not, well, yeah, because you early.
Really?
Yeah, you are, well, based on what happened on Monday, you early.
Well, thank you.
Doc, do you have available to you right now, do you have a Laptop?
Laptop, no, not at the moment, but I'm at a desktop here. I could
You
tell
had
you know.
yeah, but does the desktop have a camera?
No, that's
All right. How about you have any other device except the telephone? Only the telephone?
only my cell phone, yes.
I don't want to. I want to bring you up on screen, but I don't want to do it and you get a call. Because if you get a call, you may drop out.
Okay. All right then.
So I guess we just have to continue the conversation like this.
All right.
And I would like to advise you to get a laptop. Yeah. You have a laptop at home.
How do you know?
Duh.
Yes, I do have.
Well, right, there you go. I've seen you with a laptop before, so if it's not at work, it must be home.
Yes, you're very correct. It is. I just didn't carry it with me this morning.
Doc, do you know when was the first case of COVID in this country?
No, I do not recall a specific date, but it must have been sometime late last year, around after the beginning of the first half of last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the first case of COVID in Grenada was in March of 2020. So if I get 22nd of March.
Oh, that's very early in the beginning of the pandemic then.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's the 22nd of March, which the 21st of March signals the start of the sign Aries. And Aries is a fire sign. I mean, we're talking zodiac here. Aries.
I'm not very familiar.
Yeah, Aries is a fire sign. Aries starts on the 21st of March and ends somewhere around the 21st of April. Okay. Now, Aries is a fire sign. Now, you know, the only thing that can deal with fire is water, nothing else, of all the elements that you have.
I thought they said you fight fire with fire.
Well, that's what they say, but it will cause more destruction.
Okay.
If you fight it with water,
yeah.
But when you look at all the different elements that you have, fire is the most destructive. And I'm just realizing that now that yeah, so, and that's my sign, so only be careful with me.
Oh, darn. Is that a warning to Mr. Antoine?
Yeah, to everybody else. I'm just looking at the date and I'm like, hold on. But this is Aries. This is a fire thing. So be very careful now with this fire people.
Okay.
Anyway, Dr. Antoine, I want to ask you a couple of questions though. I'm happy you called actually. But I would have been talking to you tomorrow, but I'm going to still talk to you tomorrow on the whole aspect of cocoa in Grenada.
Fine. That'll be fine.
The whole aspect of cocoa, I think we sort of are missing the boat. But we're going to talk about that boat tomorrow, please God. I'm going to have you. And make sure you walk with the computer, eh?
All right, I'll try and do that.
Right. But, Doc, I'm looking at the numbers as of 10:30 p.m. last evening, or last night, I should say. September the 14th. And the total confirmed cases in Grenada from since March 22nd, 2020, the total confirmed cases in Grenada would read 2,740.
Okay.
That's the total confirmed cases in Grenada. Now we have to look at that and be able to dissect it a bit.
Okay.
Because that 2,740, that would mean that those are the cases that they would have caught coming in. Whatever persons would have contracted the virus locally through what? Community, whatever? Is it? That's what it's called? Community spread, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. Because we only had, and this is very interesting, we only had 127 imported cases registered in our books in this country.
Okay.
127. Okay. Now that speaks volumes.
In what sense?
Well, I'm suggesting here, when you look at it, if we have only 127 cases, it means that as a people, we play the fool.
Well, it would seem so. It would seem so, but that raises one question.
Okay, what's the question?
The question of cause and effect.
Well, there are big things, so explain it to us.
Well, it's the outcome of any act, or whatever the outcome of any act, would in essence have to be accounted for by the act. In other words, it's action and results, action and reaction, right? And the question of cause and effect means something would have happened and the outcome is such and such. So that, for example, when we would have had the first imported case, that imported case would have been in contact with someone locally and so transmitted the virus to the local. And in so doing, the original cause of the virus being present in Grenada would have been the person bringing it in, right? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, it had to have someone to bring it in first.
And once it was brought in, then the person being in contact with locals resulted in the transmission, which ultimately got to the point of quote-unquote community transmission. And so, yes, while we've misbehaved, we've played the fool, we've done the most dumbest of things in terms of mass gathering when we were instructed clearly not to. So we now see the effect of whatever happened. The effect is the mass transmission of the virus in terms of community spreading. And so, yes, that's the effect of the original people who would have come in with the virus. I'm talking about the most recent cases, right? Just the carnival there.
Yeah.
So the cause of the virus being back in Grenada would have been the people bringing it in. Of course, the effect is we being boneheaded and we did what we were not supposed to do, and now we've seen the effect of it. So that's the cause-effect factor.
That's a very strong word you just used, Dr. Entwine.
Tell me.
Baboon-headed?
Well, yes, because we were instructed clearly by the authorities not, and I repeat, not to do any mass gathering or carnival activity. We were clearly instructed, Donald.
But Doc...
And of course, tell me.
No, I was going to...
Hold on. Let me just use the term. So who would have been clearly instructed to do something, knowing it is detrimental to the health and well-being, not just to themselves, but the community, and still go ahead and do it?
But I'm saying to you that as Dr. Entwine, I hope the sales of your Woodman product doesn't decline. Because
my discussion here is an individual.
Is an individual because you see,
interested in
if it was
well-being and welfare, and yes, I must agree, we all do dumb things.
Because no, I'm saying this to say that if you were a politician, Dr. Entwine,
yes, I'll be in trouble.
And you call Grenadians baboon-headed.
I never said Grenadians are baffle-headed. I simply said we behaved.
Our
behavior was bone-headed.
No, I thought it was baboon.
No, baboon. Oh, come on. Okay, what I said. My apologies.
But hold on there. Anthony Boson said we behaving like if we are demon possessed. He said that. He didn't say we are demon possessed. He said we behaving like, and he almost died. They almost killed him. So boys, a good thing is Romeo making me.
So Andrew, but in all seriousness, we need to acknowledge the fact, yes, that we misbehaved. And we misbehaved stupidly simply because we were warned, we were instructed, we were told, we were reminded not to mass gather, not to do any kind of activity. And yet we continued. However, you should also acknowledge the fact that we made an error prior to that,
What was that?
The error of allowing people who got vaccinated abroad to come in and spend 2 days in quarantine.
You think that was an error?
A gross error, a big one at that.
Why? Explain.
Well, first of all, we know from the scientific studies being done, the virus incubates for anywhere between 7 to 21 days before it begins to show symptoms. It incubates in the human body for anywhere between 7 to 21 days before we begin to show symptoms. That scientific aspect has not changed. We also know that even if you receive the vaccine, the chances of you getting infected still exist. The vaccine is a preventative tool. However, what it means is that you wouldn't be as sick or the chance of your dying is less likely or almost nil. But that doesn't mean that you wouldn't carry the virus, even though you've gotten vaccinated. And therefore, quarantining for 2 days makes no common sense, makes no scientific sense. And I think that was the very origin of the cause of the virus being imported.
I hesitate to agree with you, Doc, because if you know that Andre is coming and Andre is going to be free in 2 days, remember that the ministry have said time and time again, continue to follow protocols, which is you sanitizing yourselves with that great sanitizer that you make there. A lot of people don't know. I hope they realize it as of today. You sanitize yourselves and you wear your mask and you practice your social distancing. Now, if you know that Jack has come from the U.S. and Jack was tested negative on coming in. Jack was tested negative, so therefore, based on Jack being vaccinated and whatever, Jack would only spend 2 days in quarantine. But if you know that, you have a responsibility too. Not just the authorities, because we also have to look at it from a revenue perspective. If the decision for 2 days is maybe more of a revenue and the country needs the revenue, and if you continue while most people are able to come and see their families only for a week, but then they have to quarantine for a week at a place. And there's been a situation where a young man came to visit his dad because his dad was in the hospital. And he got in here and had to quarantine for 7 days. And in the process of that, his dad died in the hospital. And he is in Grenada. He's not in New York or in London. He's in Grenada. And he came to see his dad. And on his 5th day of quarantine, his dad died. Okay. So you had to, there are a number of things I believe had to be taken into consideration in relation to the 2 days quarantine. You had to give people who are vaccinated a better opportunity than those who are not vaccinated. You had to do that. That's one.
Grant that as a baby.
Yeah. And then two, it would have had to do also with revenue. We don't have gold trees in the backyard, and the Minister of Finance doesn't grow diamonds. And even if he did, we know all the sort of restrictions that would have been on, so we'd not have been able to sell diamonds to make money to pay bills, to pay for the same sick people in the hospitals. So you had to take a chance, but people did not, Doc, and I venture to say this, people did not take up their end of the responsibility, which is follow the protocols and stay safe.
That is correct. However, you should bear in mind a number of factors. I'm sure the people who made the decision about the 2 days quarantine would have had good reasons. But the science would have said to you otherwise. In other words, if you're making a decision as regards health, you have to be guided by the science as opposed to emotional and social factors. Would you agree with that?
I will not, because...
That's okay.
No, you're asking me, and I'm telling you the reason why I will not agree with that.
Yes.
While, yes, the science is of extreme importance, However, if we are to be totally guided by all sciences, what will happen? You're a scientist yourself. You tell me.
Of course, when you're doing science, when you're taking into consideration science, you also have to bear in mind the impact it has on social and economic activities.
Correct.
Yes. And almost everything around you would have some science involved at least.
And that's what I'm saying. If you continue to follow all sciences to the letter,
but
what happens?
But here's a situation, Andre, where we had to make a decision. And the decision had to be made based on our understanding of the science as it is involved, compared versus the fact that there are social aspects to be considered. We know the detriment that could result from failing to heed the science. We've talked about it for over a year, 18 months almost. So for a few moments, minimize the importance of that aspect and give greater importance and credence to the social requirements. So like, for example, the guy who needed to see his dad.
He never got
in a situation like that.
He never got to.
He never got to.
No.
But in a situation like that, here is where, quote unquote, compromise sometimes is necessary. So that, for example, if the guy was, let's assume, right, if he was escorted or given the opportunity to see his dad at the hospital or his home, wherever the dad was, and if he was to agree and follow and be disciplined enough to say, okay, I'm going to ensure that I wear my mask, I'm going to ensure I sanitize, I'm going to ensure that I stand my distance away from my dad, but at least I want to be able to talk with my dad and see my dad while in quarantine because of the state at which he is. Something could have been arranged if he had requested. However, the point I want to make, though, Andre, is the fact that as a people, our discipline is terrible. We cannot be relied on to do the right thing when needed. And the best illustration of that is the fact that we were instructed, for example, before the carnival, not to partake in any mass gathering or social activity. And we were not disciplined enough to follow that instruction. But that same discipline issue also occurs elsewhere. You know you're supposed to quarantine just for X number of days, but yet still you leave your location in violation of the requirement. You're not disciplined enough to stay put. So yes, our self-discipline is...
And that is what I've been telling you from the beginning. And it's nice to see you coming around with it. The thing is, you see, because the time frame in relation to quarantine, be it 2 days, no days, whatever, be it 1 week, whatever, the time frame is irrelevant. What is most important here is the protocols or the laws be followed. You see,
yes.
If we had,
but you could only follow
you have
protocol
agreed.
if you're disciplined enough to do that, right?
Yeah, but you've agreed that to put it in local parlance, Doc, you've agreed that we bung away wrong the quote unquote carnival season.
Yes.
We bung away.
Yes.
All right, there was no holding us back. That's where the numbers started to regenerate and start a thing, and then boom, it hit us after. If we had done so and practiced the protocols, if we had done so and sanitized and do every other thing that was necessary, because remember, those 2 days, it didn't just start at the end of July. It would have been in effect a couple months before, and nothing happened, Doc.
Yeah, but you see, that was the risk. That was the risk that was being taken, even though we knew that the science told us that the incubation period could last up to 7 up to 21 days.
Of course,
and 2 days is
I think
insufficient to determine whether or not somebody is carrying a virus.
You see, but you had to go. You had to go, Doc.
And yes,
you had to go also on the fact, and it's science there again. The person is coming with a test. The person is coming with a test from whichever country they're coming from, and that test says that within the past 72 hours, this person has been tested, and it shows that the person is negative. Good?
Yeah.
Stop there. So 72 hours, that's 3 days, correct?
Yes.
Good. So the person is allowed to come in. However, that person would have paid online for a PCR test, which is done or which is administered when they get here. Right? So for that now is 72 hours, 3 days. On the fourth day, again, they get in another test, correct? Fourth or fifth day? Good?
Okay.
Then we could safely say that that takes care of the 5 days incubation period that you're suggesting here, Doc.
Well, like I said earlier on,
Mm-hmm.
remember, 5 days is significantly less than 21 days, or even 14 days for that matter.
Doc,
Hold on.
Okay.
The point I'm making is,
Mhm.
incubation takes time. The incubation period could be anywhere between 7 to 21 days. The incubation would be the incubation period would be a function of the microbial load that would have been carried by the person infected. So if there's a heavy microbial load in the process of being infected, the symptoms will show up much earlier than if the microbial load at its point and time of infection was low. So herein is where the period for incubation would differ. But go back to the issue of, so even though I did a test prior to my coming into Grenada, 2 days or 3 days before I left, no one knows with whom I came in contact with. No one knows what level of discipline I practice outside there.
That is correct.
Right. And so no one knows, you remember you came in an aircraft, right? No one knows to whom you were, next to whom you are sitting, or whether you were exposed to any of the microbial load, or if there is any infected person on the craft. Okay. In other words, there are a number of possibilities for infection even after receiving the test. That does not negate the fact that 2 days is not sufficient to determine whether or not the person is carrying the virus, assuming that they have gotten infected after the first test.
Doc, while I agree with you, but the important thing to understand here, from where I sit, and we're sitting on two different chairs at this time,
Yeah,
but from where I sit, Doc, the important thing is to understand, which is what you spoke to, discipline.
Yes.
And so I the science and all of that, but I cannot sit here and say, okay, fine, it was because of the 2 days and we let go on the 2 days and the 2 days and the 2 days and the water with the 2 days. No, Doc, it was because of our lack of discipline. You were the one at the beginning of the conversation who said,
correct,
Grenadians were told, do not. You said that, correct?
Correct.
And they did not follow. And hence the reason we are paying the price. There are other countries who have no days who have 2 days, 3 days, whatever. There are other countries. And these countries, while they maintain a certain amount, they have not seen the astronomical spikes that we have seen over the past couple of weeks. And that is
for that?
Say again?
What factors could be responsible for that?
No, there's only one factor, Doc.
I.e.
Discipline.
It's one factor, yes.
There's only one
factor. It's a major factor. But Andrew, I want to raise another issue there. Earlier on, you mentioned the issue of weighing the issue of economics, or the economy as regards the science. And I want to say two things here. Yes, the economics or the economy is important. But I think the COVID virus has done a significant thing for us to understand, i.e., I think it has highlighted to us the importance of ensuring that we have not just a major single pillar for our economic base, i.e. tourism, but that we refocus our efforts and energies on developing in a scientific way the agricultural sector. And by that I mean focusing also in a major way, just as we focus on tourism, on agriculture, such that we think of producing the raw material, in addition to which we focus on processing or value adding of the raw materials in our agricultural sector.
Doc, you skip the boat on me just like that?
No. I just mentioning it.
Doc, don't mention that one. That's not fair at all. You can't do that.
The virus, in a sense, the COVID, in a sense, has highlighted the importance of refocusing or revisiting what amount of effort to put on the question of tourism, and therefore the need for alternative focus on other aspects of our resources, i.e. agriculture, the aquaculture, the sea, the air, the land, etc., etc., etc. In any case, that's the first point I want to make. The second thing is, it is always important to balance economics against science. But then in a situation where the science can be detrimental, i.e. in a situation where we know the outcome of being infected can lead to serious health issues or even death, as compared to the importance of getting revenue from a visitor coming in. The two are important, yes, because you can't run a society without money.
Correct.
So the economics is important. At the same time, we are not at a level of discipline to do the necessary things when it comes to applying the sciences. Not even in the agricultural sector do we apply the science as we need to. So here is where we sometimes have to make some really tough decisions between economics and health. And it's not an easy decision to make. I must agree, the authorities, the minister would have been in a very tough situation to make a decision on that. However, we now seeing the outcome of our decisions way back then. And so the focus we need to have at this point, Andre, is how we get out of the situation. So I would like for us to focus our discussion for the rest of the morning on how we think we can get out of the situation, if you don't mind.
You just blindside me there. That's why you just do that. But the thing about it is, with you blindsided me, is that you're accustomed doing that. That's your hobby. You do it all the time. I really bothered with you, Doc. But I always, when you blindside me like that,
you just sidestep me.
Well, no, not sidestep. I meet it front on, and I curve. I send you a curveball. Dr. Antoine, we have a situation here in St. Patrick, and I am speaking to St. Patrick because I am from St. Patrick.
Yes, I understand. You're not Grenadian. You say from St. Patrick.
Yeah, I'm not from Grenada. I'm from St. Patrick. And Doc, we have a situation here, and I would like you. I always come to you for donations. Yeah.
Yes.
I would like a case of sanitizer.
Okay.
To, if you want to do it yourself, if you want me to do it on your behalf, meaning on behalf of your company, I'll be happy. And we can donate that to the Hilarion Home.
Okay.
They've had a serious situation there at the Hilarion Home where I think as many as 8 or 9 persons have lost their lives because of COVID, maybe more. I'm not too certain. And I really believe that the workers, the workers who, because they operating on pure skeleton staff at this particular point in time. And I believe that the workers should be shown a certain level of appreciation for what they continue to do, those who are able to go out to work. And I know that you may be able to give us give them a case and say, hey, here's what. And they can, meaning the Catholic, well, it's the Catholic Church that owns the home.
Okay.
So, it can be presented to the Catholic Church so that they can give it to the home, and at least the workers will have some sort of a protection available to them. Can you, Doc? Can
Yes,
you?
we can.
Okay.
I'm going to
Thank
get
you
it to
so
you
much.
as soon as I possibly
Well,
can.
if you want, I can come collect it.
All right. I'll let you know if you could pick it up, or you'll be in Granville today or tomorrow.
Today's what, Wednesday?
Yeah.
How about Friday?
All right.
I can
pick it up if you come in by Friday. I can make sure. You
Yes,
get it.
I'm giving you time and everything like that. By Friday, God's will, I can swing into Grenville and pick that up. But let me thank you immensely. No, I'm not chasing you. No, you're not allowed to go yet. But I want to thank you immensely for that contribution on the spur of the moment. But I want to also ask you something. One of my contributors here on social media, and I want to read what that person has written and then ask you to comment, okay?
Go ahead.
Right. And the person says, but what happened to March through July? For those of us who came in, attended functions such as cricket with no proof of spread. Why is this a factor? I am reliably informed that individuals from neighboring islands came in illegally to participate in our dirty mass frolic. Yet, that is not central in this conversation.
Okay, well, that's a piece of information that I am not aware of, but now that you've raised it, that could be a possible factor as well. As regards the first point the guy made in relationship to being able to enjoy the cricket and other things when they came in, that to a great extent would reflect a different level of discipline, because I'm sure then most of the people, if not all of them, would have done the necessary things, wearing the mask properly, hand sanitizing, and minimizing the degree of socialization or gathering, and of course probably maybe the distancing. But that would be a contributing factor that would have resulted in the fact that at the March-July period that the person is referring to, there must have been a different group of people who probably saw of greater importance the need to exercise great discipline as regards the protocol and procedures. I suspect that would be a major factor.
All right. Here's one coming from a good brother of yours. His name is Bowen Luzon. Do you know that guy?
Yes.
Yes. And Bowen is saying here, good morning, Doc and Andre. Bowen, you could call me a little doc too. Come on. I mean, I'm your friend. Anyway, Bowen is saying, very good conversation. Please take into consideration that we are also dealing with a new variant. Sadly, we spend a lot of time on technicalities. We found a happy balance with the virus, but we did not keep our end of the bargain. We broke the protocols.
Yes, which goes back to the same question of being disciplined enough to follow procedures. And like I repeat it, we were instructed, we were told, we were warned. And like I said, we've just been hard-headed,
So we're paying the price.
Huh?
We're paying the price.
Precisely. However, I think now that we're paying the price, we have to figure out how we get out of the crisis. And that, in my opinion, is of significant importance, i.e., given the rate at which we're experiencing incidents or cases of the virus infecting people or people testing positive, it means that the atmosphere is tense, hot, is one that requires drastic and serious action in resolving the problem before it gets even worse. Because if things continue as they are going, it means that there comes a point in time when we will have to go through a serious period of total lockdown. I suspect. And I would prefer if we don't get to that.
No, I really don't want us to get to that.
But I'd seriously prefer that we look at alternative, creative means of helping to control and bring the virus under control before we get to that stage.
You are a doctor. I am not. Yesterday, one of our doctors on the press conference said that based on the numbers, and I know you love numbers too, so you probably could help me here. And he said, based on the numbers, 1/3 of the population is infected. Do you agree?
I don't know if that would be accurate. Because
I am asking if you agree. Don't try to smart out on me here,
I
Doc.
wouldn't necessarily agree outright. Nope, I wouldn't necessarily agree. Because my first question would be, how did he determine 1/3 of the population? 1/3 of the population would be something like 33,000 people, roughly.
Well, yeah.
I think a few thousand.
And he said that
based on what you said a while ago, we have roughly 2,740 people confirmed cases.
we have confirmed cases that they've had is 2,740, yes.
Right. And even if we assume that the actual number of cases could be 10 times that number, based on previous projections people have done in the States and Europe, they say sometimes it can be 10 times the actual numbers measured. That's still less than 1/3 of the population of Grenada.
Okay, so on that science. The other thing he also...
But a more important question, Andrew, here would be, if it's a medical or professional or scientific person making that statement, I would prefer if they would use some scientific basis or empirical evidence or information to make those projections and explain the reason or the basis for that projection.
Because the other thing he said again, and he said it took us like 3 weeks to get to that 1/3.
Yes.
All right, he said that, and then he said that within another 2 weeks, if we continue as we're going, then half of the population can be infected.
All right, he's talking about the exponential increase in the number of cases.
Do you see that being practically possible?
Within the next 2 weeks? If we remain lackadaisical, i.e. continue to be ill-disciplined as we were prior to the recent measures taken by the government, yes, that would have been possible. With the new measures, I don't see it getting there this quickly. It will take a much longer period to get there.
Okay.
Which highlights, and let's assume that what he's saying is accurate, just for argument's sake. If what he's saying is accurate, then that even highlights the greater importance of seeking creative and drastic measures and ways to curb the spread of the virus. Because we cannot afford to have half our population being sick. Because if half our population becomes sick, you know what that means? People begin to panic.
Yeah.
And if people begin to panic, then we have a lot of problems on our hands. Health issues become of greater significance.
Yeah.
Mental issues become people might not even want to go to work, right? Which brings me to two other points, Andrew, I wanted to make mention of.
Okay.
I.e., the importance of people stepping up and accepting and taking the vaccine, right?
Oh, tell us about that, Doc. I was going to ask you that question straight up. I was going to say, oh, Doc, are you anti-vax or are you for vax? What it is? Come on, tell us.
No, I understand why many people would have been reluctant to take the vaccines, and each of them would give you some reason or reasons, most of which probably would have some social reason, or I doubt there will be any major significant reason. But let me explain. One of the reasons I heard was that the vaccine was developed too quickly. People need to understand that the platform for that vaccine didn't develop overnight or within a year's time. The platform for that vaccine was being developed over the last 20 years since the outbreak of the SARS virus. The SARS virus is also a coronavirus, right? So too was the MERS. So way back then, the scientists were looking at the development of vaccines for the corona-type virus. So to say that the virus was developed too quickly is not necessarily accurate because there was work being done for the previous 20 years. However, the virus as it is, the COVID-19 virus as it is, because of the work done in the years prior to that, it became easier to develop a vaccine for it. In other words, all the preparatory work for coming up with a vaccine when necessary was being done in the previous 20 years. And so saying now that it was developed too quickly. It doesn't make much sense. It doesn't have validity. Okay. Secondly, the vaccine, it was tested, right? It went through several stages of evaluation to determine its efficacy as well as whether or not there are any side effects. And it's proven to be of greater positivity and usefulness and effectiveness than we like to acknowledge. So there was no scientific or material basis, in my opinion, for most of us to say it was developed too quickly not to take it. Of course, we wouldn't all be aware of that kind of information.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, my suggestion would be that in the interest of people's personal well-being, in the interest of the family, in the interest of the society, taking the vaccine is necessary and important because that's the best and most effective way we can help to curb the virus. Now, Andre, bear in mind that we can be infected and we're not aware of it, right?
Yeah.
So we also have among our people not just ordinary working people, we also have the medical professionals who have to interact with us to help us heal or find ways and means to get us better.
Mm-hmm.
And their work is being made even more dangerous by the mere fact that we continue to be ill-disciplined, we continue to spread the virus, community spread. And even some of the medical professionals are now being affected, like you mentioned a while ago, whereby the Hilarion Home is operating on a skeletal staff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there are other medical professionals who would have been infected. I've also heard of some of the paramilitary or the police whom they have gotten infected because they were doing the work, right? And yes, we have to acknowledge them for the heroism they would have shown. Yes, we have to thank them for being brave enough to take up the challenge of helping to secure our nation. But I also want to suggest that they need to be recognized in a more tangible way. Just saying that they're heroes, in my opinion, is not sufficient. And I think
So, Doc, as you say you want to thank them and you want to do it in a tangible, so make that two cases now, one for the Hilarion Home and one for the Cities Police Station. Good?
Andrea, I'll try my utmost.
I know you would, Doc. I know you would.
Yeah, because I think...
And just let me say, before you say anything, this is for sanitizing, not for drinking.
Yes. I'll make sure that's understood.
I try. Yes.
Yeah. So we cannot just continue to say, okay, they're heroes. We thank them for their good work. We have to recognize them in more tangible ways, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure we've done that sufficiently. So I want to make that suggestion. And if you want to get ways and means, we could do that. There are whole ways of several ways we could do that. In my opinion, for example, providing scholarships for the children, for example, right? Providing vouchers for some of them to do grocery shopping in some of the grocery stores, or even vouchers for them to buy school books for the kids, or even some monetary compensation. I'm sure we could find the money somewhere. And I'm sure the World Health Organization might be prepared to assist us if they're not already doing that.
But I would not like to see cash per se, Doc. Cash has a thing that sometimes it does just send the wrong message, or the message that is supposed to be conveyed is not conveyed, and then the message is conveyed, and then what you find, for instance, let's say the police.
Well, you could get them bonds then.
Yeah, but no, not even that.
Oh, why not?
And I'll explain to you why not.
Yes.
The police, for instance, yes. you may very well have a constable, all right, a constable at the police station, of course, who's working his or her butt off. And then you have a sergeant, all right, who ain't really working hard at all. And then when it comes to the monetary thing, and the sergeant realized that, okay, fine, the constable got $100 and I as a sergeant get $20, he vex.
Well,
if you were to do it like that. And even if you give them the same amount, you're wrong because the constable would have worked so hard. So I'm talking, when you say things like scholarship for children or scholarship for cousins and younger brothers and things like that, I can see that. When you say the whole idea of vouchers, shopping vouchers. I can see that. I can see somebody going to Calico and they have and you probably can say to them, okay, here is what you can go into Calico and there'll be somebody with a stop clock and you have 2 minutes to shop.
Okay.
That kind of, those sort of things you can do and bring fun to it, help bring some sort of a relief to them because they need that kind of a social relief, correct?
Yes.
They need that sort of a fun. So, but I don't want to see cash. Cash has a way of doing something, spoiling the whole thing.
Well, let me give you a point. Let me make one point here as regards cash compensation. Here we have a group of people, well, 3 categories of people: the nurses, the police officers, and the soldiers. Right? These people come out in the front line to help protect and defend our society from an invisible enemy, as the common Prime Minister would say. In other words, they prepared to sacrifice themselves in the greater interest of the country. And the compensation, in my opinion, could be done. Let me tell you why. After a flood, for example, in the communities, I have seen where people who are in a position to help come out and clean up refuse to do voluntarily the cleanup and wait till they're told that they'll be paid for the cleanup.
Mm.
So they come, they clean up, they get paid. Well, here we have these frontline workers, the nurses, the doctors, the police officers, the soldiers, being frontline people. They come up to clean up our COVID problem. Just as the workers would have gone out to clean up after the flood, they come up to clean up after the COVID. Why can't we give them some monetary compensation? At least, if not a bonds, or some other compensation. In other words, we have to recognize them, but we cannot just assume and say, okay, calling them heroes is sufficient. No, I don't think that's the best way.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I have a gentleman who is part of our online. Zephyrin, good morning to you. Nice to see you, brother. Take care of yourself, and I trust that you and the family are safe. But I have another gentleman who is right down the military road, right?
Yes.
And he's just suggested here, hey guys, you can give them a medal. And I believe I agree.
Provided that
I agree with this medal thing, yeah?
Provided the medal is accompanied with quote unquote some money.
Well, yeah. But so I'm saying, because I like to put people on little tests here.
Yes.
All right. So because he's in the military, and we are going to give these people a medal which they would appreciate, and a medal plus other things. So I want to say to him, we have about 1,000 police officers. How many nurses do you think we have in this country?
I would hope we have a good 3,000 minimum.
Okay. So let's say, to begin with, we probably need to have something like 5,000 medals, correct? Let's assume that. So Martin, good morning to you again. Thank you so very much for bringing up that idea of the medals. But Martin, can you, as a concerned citizen of Grenada, can you look at maybe teaming up with your guys, because you are, where are you based, Martin? Is it in Miami or somewhere? Fort Lauderdale, is that where you're based? So if your squad or your squadron, I don't know what it's called, but can you guys put together the medals and send them so we can give whatever portion has to be given to the RGPF so that they can make that presentation, and then we can give the other portion to the Ministry for Health so that our nurses can proudly wear this medal? Martin, can you do that? I promise you that Dr. Antoine will produce all the hand sanitizer needed for the persons pinning on the medals. Right?
Okay, that's quite a challenge there. Go ahead.
Yeah, but no, you're just providing the hand sanitizer for persons pinning on the medals, so we know everybody's getting the medals in a sanitary a fashion.
Yes, yes.
Right. So I will find. Well, Martin will reply whether or not himself and his team will take that upon themselves, purchase the medals, purchase it, ship it. The duties at. Oh, Martin is at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, of course.
Is he Grenadian?
Yeah.
Good morning, buddy.
Right. So we will find out from Martin whether or not they can put together those medals for us, because, as you said, they really deserve it. We need to find more creative ways of recognizing them from time to time.
I agree.
You know,
Andre, there's also an alternative we haven't even thought of.
Which is?
I know we strap cash. We're cash strapped in Grenada right now. But in a situation like the nurses, for example, maybe reevaluation of the enumeration we give to them, and maybe a slight 1-2-3% increase might be a possibility. If not now, but when the economy begins to rebuild itself or recuperate,
Well, we damn well need to do something like that. I believe that we need to do that. We need to keep reevaluating our police officers and our nurses. And don't forget, there are those who sit in the offices and they go in at 8 o'clock and come out at 4 o'clock. Some of them go in at 7 and come out at 5. So, there are those who are working bat out of hell.
Yes.
And we don't know that because they're going, ordinarily into the office, we don't recognize them as frontline workers. You understand?
Yes.
But the Grand Lake people, the Flow people too.
Right.
But we need to look at it. But here's what Martin has just said. Martin has just said this, and this is such welcome news. I will put this into writing to the boss, meaning the whole aspect of the donation of the medals.
Okay.
And that will be beautiful. That will be beautiful. That is somewhere to start and let people know. And then I think that people would appreciate it more because it started here, so nobody can say, hey, government only giving people medal. Well, I go bring medal in shop.
Well, right, which is why I suggested earlier on that the medal should be accompanied by honorary.
But yeah, I understand that. But this is why they wouldn't say it in this end, because this was not a government idea. It came about with the rum man and the radio man talking.
Yes, Andrew.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to get information and evaluate serious issues and help enlighten people as regards the importance of doing the right thing,
Dr. Entwine, I'm going to cut our conversation here.
Before you go off, I want to say a couple of things, Andrew.
Sure, go ahead, sir.
I want to just remind our public that we need to be very proactive when it comes to helping to protect the rest of our society, okay? Because we're all in this business together. And so for those of us who do not have any underlying conditions, I would encourage you, please do the right thing. Do the thing that's in your best interest. Do the thing that's in the best interest of your family. Take the vaccine once you do not have an underlying condition. And then secondly, I want to encourage our population to let us behave in a more responsible and disciplined way. Let us try and stop being cavalier about our behavior. So, for example, those of us who are required to quarantine, please stay in quarantine until you're cleared. Those of us who are out socializing, minimize the size of the crowd in which you're involved in. And always, once you're outside, wear your mask and wear it properly. Sanitize your hands, wash your hands as often as possible for the 20 seconds as suggested. Maintain as much physical distance as possible. Enjoy the clean, fresh air out in the opens. And let us all work towards helping to curb this COVID virus crisis that we're currently experiencing. Thank you for allowing me to be on the radio station this morning, Andre. I appreciate it.
That's absolutely no problem, Doc. We got it like that. But I can't let you go without reading what Dr. Bowen Luzon just wrote. This is so special. And he says here, according to some models, the virus takes about 2 months to stabilize. Andre, when we run out of excuses, we say it's my freedom and it's my body. The vaccine was an emergency vaccine because we are in an emergency situation. A question. We are in a pandemic and a state of emergency. What is the state of human rights as it relates to health?
The vaccine was authorized based on the emergency we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, remember this vaccine was the platform for the vaccine and other vaccines were being worked on for many years before. So yes, we do have to exercise caution. The vaccine, yes, I think I would encourage all of us to take it because, yes, you're right. We find all kind of straws to pull on as excuses, and we no longer have excuses. None of the excuses are valid. If you go to work and you infect the rest of the people, your colleagues in the workplace. Is that fair to them? No. You're being selfish when you do that. So people who refuse to take the vaccine and happen to get infected, they only know that they're infected days or weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
Their exposing other people to possible or potential infections is in a way a selfish act. Hence the reason why I say let us all get vaccinated, take the vaccine. It is not detrimental to you except if you probably have some serious underlying condition. The vaccines are safe. They've been proven to be safe. They've been developed for years. It's just that the specific COVID virus required us to move quickly on that particular vaccine. And similar situations will arise later on. But the long and short of it is that the vaccine is safe. Let us all take it. Let us work towards resolving this crisis as best as we can, as quickly as we can, because time is not on our side. And as Boeing is saying, yes, the longer it takes for us to bring this crisis under control, the greater the potential for the virus evolving.
I got one for you, Doc, and maybe you can write this one into a commercial. Get vaxxed, then get Woodman.
All right.
Get vaxxed, then get Woodman. As simple as that.
The nurses might. Okay. All right. Okay. You'll have to be careful of that one.
You'd have to be careful of that one. Dr. Antwine, talk to you again tomorrow morning, God's will. We speak in Cocoa tomorrow morning, correct?
Okay, yes.
All right, then. Take care of yourself, my good man.
Same to you. Cheers. Have a
all
great
right,
day.
bye-bye. You too.
Cheers.
Right, great.
Bye.
I'm Ken Roy Batiste, resident host of Celebrate Grenada Live, inviting you to join me this and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Caribbean Time on Real 91.9 and 91.5 FM, simultaneously on drealfmgrenada.com. Celebrate Grenada Live, a melting pot of almost all things Grenadian, spotlighting our island paradise. Email celebrategrenadalive@gmail.com. Thank you, and we'll be live soon.
When you think of Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, what comes to mind? A reliable financial institution that has stood the test of time. Maybe you think about the convenience and quality financial service they provide. Do you think about their readiness to help you retire, achieve your academic goals, build your dream home, buy the piece of land or the elegant car? Or maybe the convenience of their different locations, Jubilee Street in Grenville, or the new outlet on Lucas Street in St. George's in the Derek Sylvester building. Maybe you always consider how they're always a phone call away. 442-8602 or 438-4228. They're also online, www.grenvillecreditunion.com. No matter what comes to mind, remember, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union is the best place to save and to borrow, working with you to make your brighter tomorrow.
There comes a time in every household when a loved one passes on, and we all need the support and guidance of a trusted friend. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home has been your dedicated friend. And now, for your convenience and added financial ease, we introduce specially designed complete funeral packages from as low as $5,500. Same professional quality services, but now greater choices at the lowest possible prices. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Conditions apply. Serving you from locations in St. George's, Grenville, and Carriacou. Call us at 440-2302 any time of day. LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home, continuing a tradition of excellence.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Republic Bank assures its customers, staff, and the general public that your health and safety are of the utmost importance at this time. Effective Monday, September 13th, 2021, the following branches will be closed until further notice: Melville Street, St. George's, Central Depardine Street, Guelph, and Main Street, Sauters. In-branch service is available at Republic House, Grenville, Carriacou, and Halifax Street branches. Additionally, our 24-hour ATM and Republic online services remain operational to serve you. Stay connected on Facebook and Twitter for more information. Republic Bank looks forward to welcoming you again soon when we can continue to bank safely together.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price, and they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, with their factory at Chantimel in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
Dr. Chaitin again, international social skill consultant, reminding you that we should stop every form of sexual violence here in the beautiful island of Grenada.
And me say no make them take advantage of you.
Myers Collection, located on Main Street, St. Patrick, announces its back-to-school promotion. We supply primary school uniforms for schools in St. Patrick, secondary uniform for McDonald's College, Mount Rose Seventh-day Adventist Comprehensive, and St. Mark's Secondary. We also supply some preschool uniforms along with other school accessories such as bags, shirts, vests, socks, notebooks, etc. We accept government and Grencoda vouchers. So when shopping, check out Myers Collection for all your back-to-school supplies as well as household items at very competitive prices. Opening hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and later for your convenience. For more information, call 449-6197. Myers Collection.
I'm going to end on this note this morning. Look around you. Yeah, look around you. And I'm speaking to all those who are anti-vaxxers. That's how I choose to call you this morning. Anti-vaxxers. But before I do that, I just see that Depo sent something here to me. Major, George Jackson. Former captain and whatever the national football team. Atoms? Yeah, I think it was Atoms he played for, Yeah, I had the opportunity. I worked with him as a security officer at Point Celine. Yeah, it was Point Celine then. It wasn't Morris Bishop then. Yeah. So sad to hear Jackson's passing. He will transition well. Yeah, so he played for Atoms. But he was an outstanding footballer. He was a dangerous defense. Oh my God. We'll talk about that another time. Maybe Depo and I could talk about that. He was a dangerous defender. In any event, Zephyrin is calling for a day of prayer. Zephyrin, I don't know if I believe in a day of prayer, but I'll be willing to accommodate. Meaning, I'll be willing to do so and give the airwaves of Real FM and link with if you can put it together, Zeph, if you can put it together, I'll be very happy to accommodate. But I don't know if I'm going to go to government and say, government, have a day of prayer. As an individual, privately owned radio station, we can do it. But I'm not going to encourage government to do it. Why? Man, government had to encourage people to do things and people are doing it. Follow protocol, they don't want to follow protocol. Pray they go follow. And then you'll have some people who jump in on board. And then there are so many pastors who ain't taking the vaccine and who ain't telling people to take the vaccine. And you want them come and pray. No. If you, yes, friend, for this prayer thing, I'm willing to accommodate, willing to have, but all the prayer warriors, be it pastors or priests or pope, all of them have to be vaccinated or else don't come. Not here. You don't want to take the vaccine because y'all can have titivation in your mind about the vaccine. But hear what now? Two gal just touched down last night from out of New York. So they in quarantine. In a couple of days, they out of quarantine. And you chilling on the block. And them walking down the road. Wow. Glamity for so. Yeah. And you're on the blog, you're like, whoa, she look good. Of course she look good. And you're salivating. Yeah, you're salivating, man. Mwah! And you throw out your line. You throw out your line. Now you start to talk. And you get to realize that she and she friend are here for 3 weeks. Just to free up a bit now. So all you talk today. And tomorrow all you talk again. And by the end of the week, you in the guest house where them staying, you coming out in the balcony and you're stretching and you're half naked. Yeah? You're half naked in the morning and you're stretching. Oh boy. Oh. And you're going, wow. What I mean? Well, it mean that you and she don't have sex? Yeah? And then you realize, well, boy, last night you come in here for the first time and it was not really your intention to have sex with her, but this led to that, led to this, led to that. Uh-huh. So here's what. You had unprotected sex. But outside of diseases, let's say outside of diseases, she could have gotten pregnant too. And you are your girlfriend or your lady or your wife just around the corner there. So let's forget the diseases, eh? But you get she pregnant. Yeah. But then forget the fact that she get pregnant. No, not AIDS. We had a little syphilis. You get that syphilis and you don't know. So you're going home, take a shower and everything. Bang! Later that night, you and your wife in bed. Da-da-da. You transfer that syphilis to your wife. You transfer that syphilis to your wife. But you still balling, me ain't taking no vaccine here. That thing don't test. You had to test that vagina before you go in? Did you check out that vagina before you went in? Did you make sure? Did you make sure that there were no dangerous diseases there? And I'm not discriminating and say only women carrying them diseases. No, it's just that's how the party roll right now with that. Huh? So you could flip it wrong if you want. You could flip it wrong, whichever way to suit you. And you ain't realizing that you're putting yourself in danger because you didn't check it first. But the vaccine has been checked. And it has a good proven record. But you prefer to have unprotected sex with a person you don't really know than to trust your medical authorities. Well, you're one special kind of person. And if you're looking on the live, you will see those who intend to try to make me shut up. Oh, please. You know what is so interesting? What is so interesting here is this, that Andre, at this particular point and time, I happen to be in control of this. I don't own the radio station. Do you understand? I don't own this radio station. It's owned by the people of St. Patrick. So, those of you with aliases who come out to behave like asses, You can't shift me. When I move from here, it will be because I want to move or because not even the people say, I just get up and go with the watch. Not even that. Because not all you, no. You all these negative people will never be able to deal with Selassie son. Blessings! I'm out of here. Claudine, peace and love. Martin, love you guys. Catch you again tomorrow. More love, more respect.